Welcome back to Just Scrap Radio on BJPen.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton. Episode 54. We got a really good lineup for you. The UFC card this weekend, obviously not the best. And this might actually be a first for this show. I think it probably is we have no fighters from this upcoming card. Instead, we're first going to be joined by Demetrious Johnson, one of the best, greatest fighters of all time, preview his December 5th fight against Road Tank. Sorry. It's a special rules bout. It's 1 round Muay Thai, 1 round MMA, 1 round Muay Thai, 1 round MMA. Really intriguing fight. So we kind of get as DJ about his kind of style, how he kind of goes about training this, how this came together, and how this is kind of a fight that something he wanted to do when he signed with One Championship. And we also talk about his future and just some other things, notable events in the flyweight division like Benavidez retiring and Cejudo kind of teasing that comeback. We're next going to be joined by Casey O'Neill, who's ranked 14th at flyweight after her big win 2 weekends ago against Antonina Shevchenko. We catch up with Casey after her birthday, after some celebration, so we had to give her a bit of time, but really good chat with Casey about the fight, kind of what's next, her thinking about maybe fighting Macy Barber at 269 and then deciding kind of against it and what kind of next for her. Where her boyfriend Ty Guerra, a Bellator fighter, was in the car, so he got stopped a cameo in for one question about his next move, and I think fans are gonna like it that he's gonna stay in Bellator, he said. But after that, we're joined by Brent Primus to preview his fight on Bellator 268 on Saturday in Arizona. So he takes on Benson Henderson. Brent said this is a fight that he's wanted for a while. It's a fight that like a big name he's been asked for, and he knows if he beats Benson, he's right there for a title shot. But the interview also was done before Pitbull vacated his belts. There were some questions about kind of how he was getting frustrated with Pitbull, of how he wasn't defending. So obviously those are all eased up, and we close things out talking to Bibiano Fernandes about his upcoming title defense on that same card as Demetrious Johnson. He actually fights John Lineker. So Bibiano hasn't fought in quite some time, hasn't fought since October 2019, finally making his return. And him and Lineker kind of don't really like each other. So it was a good chat with Bibiano ahead of that fight where he kind of thinks he won't even, he'll just kind of roll through Lineker. But really good chat with all four of them. I appreciate you all for listening. Thank you again. I hope you enjoy the show. Be sure to share the show, subscribe, and tune in next week for another episode of All right, we're joined by Demetrious Johnson, who's got a massive fight coming up here. Demetrious, how's it going, man?
Going good. How about you?
I'm doing well. Like when one championship kind of came to you with this offer, like what kind of goes through your head? Because the mixed rules fight isn't something like I don't think many people were kind of expecting.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't say tell you, but yeah, I was just chilling at home, and next thing you know, they gave me a call and they said, "Hey, we want you to do this." I'm like, "All right, sounds good. Send a contract," and that's how it went through. I'm super excited, very grateful for the opportunity, and training's going great so far. Now we just got to stay healthy and keep on getting better and make sure we're sharp December 5th.
After your last fight, like what you kind of think was going to be next for you? Like, do you think it was going to be one of those top contenders, or like what did you think one was going to do with you?
I wasn't too sure. I thought it was going to be another top contender, work my way back up the ladder for a title shot. But, this is something fresh. It's something different. It's just unique. And I like unique. I like to do things different every once in a blue moon. I mean, I haven't done anything different since my amateur days, but it's nice to get the opportunity to do something like this.
How much does training camp change with this kind of, or if at all, for this fight?
It'll change a little bit more. We'll focus more on the stand up. Last night we did a lot of clinching, a lot of clinching, working at balance, working his sweeps, all that stuff, because, he is a Muay Thai specialist. And, we're still going to grapple. We're still going to do everything the same, but be focusing more on clinching.
With this fight, like I think a lot of people just basically said, like with Rototang, like you need to knock you out in the first round. If you get out of the first, like you're probably going to submit him. So like, is part of the game plan is to be cautious in the first round? Or are you just going to kind of go at him as well in that first round?
I think a lot of people think, being cautious or whatever is going to be the best thing for me. But I think, it's like a wolf. If a wolf is focused on defending himself and fighting back, it tends to have a higher chance of survival rate. So for me, I think fighting is going to be the best situation for me to be able to make it in the fight in general. So, we're looking to go out there and compete, not be afraid.
Is it going to be hard just because a lot of muscle memory is to like wrestle and do certain things that you won't be able to do in that first round? Like, is that going to be kind of hard to train your brain to not do that in those kind of moments?
1000%. But we got a long time to get ready for the fight. We got 8 weeks, and drill into my mind, and hopefully we won't, first round try to get a takedown.
And then it hits that second round. Like, how much confidence are you having now that you can go to the full MMA like skill set?
Yeah, I mean, definitely confidence, but I still gotta be careful. He's still dangerous. The fight starts on the feet; it doesn't start on the ground. I think a lot of people forget about that.
Yeah.
And it's only 3 minutes, so 2 minutes on the ground is not. I mean, it's time, but it's not a lot. Like 5 minutes, so it's definitely a different shift of like when you get there, you got to get to work.
Yeah, with the 3 minute rounds too, like how much different is that? Because you're used to kind of pacing yourself for 5 minutes, where 3 minutes, especially that second round, like you mentioned, the wrestling, like it's hard to set up a lot of those submissions or just takedowns and all that in such a short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest challenge of this fight. Like on the feet, 3 minutes is easy. It's more of a sprint. But when you have the wrestling aspect to it and the grappling, and you're not starting at ground, you gotta get it there. It's a lot of work. So a lot of people don't really think about that. And you also gotta be careful when you make that transition and trying to get in there.
And especially because I think too, like he's just gonna kind of expect you to shoot, where so he'll probably be practicing like knees and stuff. So you can't just shoot in, which I think a lot of people kind of expect you to do right away.
Exactly. That's the people who aren't very knowledgeable in the sport. And like I said, you have to get them there. So we're gonna come in prepared, be strategic, be dynamic, and go out there and give it our best shot.
What do you think a win over him and like this kind of thing does for you? Or do you think this is just kind of a one-off fight and you're still kind of in the same spot in the division?
Yeah, one-off fight, still same spot in the division. This is a fun fight. This is something that say I'd done in my resume in my career. And yeah, I foresee like if I go out there and win, or if he beats me. I mean, I don't even know if this is even an exhibition fight. Like I don't even know if this is going to go on my record or whatever. But with that being said, I foresee me going right back down and fighting, working my way back up to a title shot. Fighting the number 3 contender, working my way back up, building myself back up in mixed martial arts, and then try to get another crack at the belt.
How do you kind of see this one playing out?
Oh, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a tough fight. Rodtang's no joke. I mean, he's got a lot of experience in mixed martial arts, in Muay Thai. And, he's tough, man. He's the Iron Man for a reason.
When you went to one championship, like were these kind of fights something that you were kind of interested in? Because one championship has a lot of like Muay Thai kickboxing, where I think that's something you even talked about in the past is you want to do stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it was definitely some week I knew I could do down the line, but for them to actually like offer it to me, and now we're 9 weeks out from it happening, it's dope. I'm super excited.
And having one of your close friends in Bibiano on the card as well, what's that like for you?
It's fun, man. And I saw kid, come get over here now, get off my people. You, sorry, my dog.
Yeah, no worries.
It's great. I see Bibiano. He's in the jungle, going back to his roots, getting ready for the fight, and I'm super excited to see him be able to go out there and fight John Lineker, which would be another great battle between those two. And I'm looking forward to watching that one.
Are you gonna get in any work with him, or is he just staying in Brazil?
I don't know. I don't think we will, because the border, the Canadian border and Washington State, all it takes is a COVID breakout. Like he's stuck down here, and then I'm stuck up there. Especially my kids in school, getting to school and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't foresee that happening. But he'll be fine, and I'll be fine too.
Is that something like more fight week when you arrive, you might just try to kind of do some small training and stuff with them?
They won't allow it because in Singapore, they kind of quarantine you with your own camps. So if we could, I would love to, but I don't foresee that happening.
I never knew Singapore was still like that. So even come December, you're still going to be like kind of how it was back on the TNT card you're fighting on.
Yep. If they allow us to train together, absolutely. I would love to get some working with them and play and grapple and share spirits. That's the hardest thing, when you go over to Singapore, is that you're kind of quarantined, and you get to see the fighters here in passing, but you know, it'll be nice to be able to like work out with each other and train, but they don't allow that.
Is that something too that's kind of a disappointment? Like you fly all that way and you can't even like go sightsee or do stuff after the fight or before the fight?
Yep. Yes, it is.
With this card too, like this is gonna be one of the bigger ones one puts on. Like, what's that kind of like being on this one?
It's dope, man. It's 10-year anniversary of one championship. Super excited about that, and grateful to be able to do this one-off special rules fight that everybody's hyped about, buzzing about. Kind of like the new age, you know, pride ways where you had Crocop versus Vanderlei Silva, and I think, you know, Vanderlei Silva, when he took him down, he had like 10 or 30 seconds, and then he got back on their feet. So something fun like that.
With this, like with Adriano, like, do you think that's something if you put on impressive performance here, like, do you think you can get that rematch right away, or is that something you think you'd rather kind of get one more fight in MMA before you get that one back?
I'd rather get one more fight in MMA, maybe one or two, because MMA is just a different dynamic. It's a different beast than Muay Thai. Like this is kind of straightforward. It's like Rodting's a killer on the feet, great pressure, great clinch. You know, that's like the biggest thing. I got to make sure I'm sharp on the feet. When it comes to mixed martial arts, you got to make sure you're sharp on the feet. You got to make sure you're sharp on the ground. You got to make sure your takedown defense is good. It's a lot more that goes into play with just the mindset and the training aspect of it. Like this is fun because it's like, okay, you know, first round, I don't have to worry about takedowns. Like I can just let my hands go and be smart and strategic about it. And then second round, I can start wrestling and grappling and let my hands go. So it's just a little bit different. So for me, like I always feel like earning my keep and working my way up to a big moment, a big goal, a big belt. Like if I just got handed to me, it's not the same. Like when I went to the World Grand Prix, won those 3 fights, got the World Grand Prix, and that World Grand Prix got me my ticket to fight for a world title. That felt like it was earned and achieved to have the opportunity to fight against Adriano Moraes. If it's given to me, it's like, well, I'm getting a top fight because who my name is and all that stuff.
What do you kind of take away from that fight? Because I saw a lot of people say, "Oh, like DJ was just too small in there," which I didn't really think the size was that big of a factor there.
No, I was just rushing. I felt like I was just trying to get to him and get the fight going. And that's the biggest thing I take away from it is that I shouldn't have rushed. I should have let him come to me. I mean, do if you do damn if you do. You know what I mean? Like I said, MMA is way more dynamic. Where like 5 minutes, like I always tell my teammate too, James, I'm like, dude, you got 5 minutes. There's no reason to rush. You have 5 minutes. So in that fight, I felt like I really rushed, and that's when the uppercut got me. And then the knee. That is, if I was to sit back, like when I watched the fight, I'm like, okay, he's running a lot. He's not standing there trying to exchange. So my angles and me trying to cross distance and all that stuff, it's gonna be a lot harder. So I should have just kind of just played distance and wait. So I mean, and that's the thing when you have so much skill, you can sit back and decide. But for that one, I felt like I just negated my skill and just try to get to him.
How many times have you watched that fight back?
Oh, I haven't watched it since. Fuck, I couldn't remember.
With that fight too, like I know the thing was it was like a month after that whole like Peter Yan Sterling thing, and then the knee happened. Like, do you like one's rules with the knee? Because I actually like it where like even with Yan Sterling, like Sterling was just kind of stalling there, where at least in one, like you can throw that knee and you can't just be kind of stalling there and waiting to get up.
Yeah, I mean I like it. You know, that's why it's there. It's put in place, and you know, it just so happened that I got hit with one, and it drawn executed perfectly.
Just last thing, I know Joseph Benavidez retired recently. Like, did you have a chance to talk to him at all? Because like you two were linked forever with that rivalry, sort of.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to talk to him, but you know, I wish him nothing but the best, and it's like, you know, he's done a lot in the sport, and I'm happy for him to be able to go out on his own terms, and yeah, man, I wish him nothing but the best.
Actually, just one more quick thing. And Cejudo keeps talking about going up to 45 and facing Volkanovski. How do you think he'd do up at 45?
I think he'll do great. I mean, Volkanovski is not like a big dude, like height wise and reach wise. So I think he'll do fine. And I mean, he's kind of pretty sick right now. So I think he'll be fine. I think the biggest thing in my opinion, is like if Henry wants to fight him, dude, he's still in the UFC, so just work your way up to him. But he just wants to have that one-off fight to fight him. But yeah, if he wants to fight him, go get like 2 or 3 fights in the featherweight division, get in line like everybody else does, and earn your shot.
Well, Demetrious, I appreciate the time. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah.
If you are.
All right, we're joined by now ranked UFC flyweight Casey O'Neill. Casey, how's it going?
I'm great. Still trying to come down off the high, but still feeling good.
Yeah, I'll just start right there. Like that fight, I know it was a bit of a slow start, or like she kind of had you in that one position, but other than that, like, did everything kind of go about how you planned? Because I thought you would finish Antonina as well.
Yeah, that's definitely what I planned for. I always plan to finish my fights, but I could see myself finishing her with ground and pound from the top. So yeah, I did start a little slow. I think it's because I had a big year of I had 3 UFC fights, and then within the past 13 months I've had 5 fights, so it was quite a lot. So I was feeling the effects of that, so I think that's why I started extra slow this time, but it's okay because I wasn't worried in any of those positions. I get into them a lot with much stronger guys at the gym, so I knew that I was going to be able to get out. It just looked bad to the judges, but it's okay. I still won the first round and came back and finished in the second, and yeah.
When you went to your corner, like, what did like Nick Sick and all those guys have to say?
So Eddie just told me that I needed to start fighting because I was watching her fight me, basically, which is how I felt anyway. I felt like I was standing on the outside just trying to watch what she was doing so that I could get a gauge of it instead of actually just like going in and fighting. So the second round, if you noticed, I came out really hard and aggressive and just sort of like fought how I should have fought from the start. But yeah, they're a really good corner. They just keep me calm, give me like a few bits and pieces here and there, but they like to let me be free and like express myself through my fighting.
And there was a couple times I think the ref could have stopped in. I know you kind of looked up a couple times too. Like, were you surprised it took that long to finish her when you got her down to the ground?
To be honest, I was more annoyed than surprised because I was in my position in the first round for like 5 seconds before he was like, do something. And then I must have hit her with at least 5 hard elbows and he said nothing. And I was like, really? We're just going to let her die? Like, I was like getting called straight away, but she can have as much time as she wants. So it was kind of annoying, but I understand like the elbows were really hard, but the punches were not so much. I couldn't get the leverage to hit with those hard punches. So yeah, I guess I was annoyed with it, but it's all right.
And then you get the win, and now you're in the rankings. Like, what's that like when you saw a number beside your name?
That was awesome. I wasn't expecting it because Antonina is not ranked, but I guess 3 fights and 3 finishes in the flyweight division being so shallow, that it was bound to happen sooner than later. I did want to take my time a little bit more, but now it looks like I'm not going to be able to do that. So yeah, I'm excited to test myself against the best in the world. I think that I can be the best in the world. I'm just a little bit inexperienced, and it's going to take me a little bit longer, but I mean, I'm right there and I'm winning my fights and I'm like getting better each time that I come out. So I'm excited for the future in the top 15.
Have you watched that fight back a bunch, I assume?
I have. I've watched it a couple of times. I sort of cringe at the first round because I literally look like a video game character that just doesn't know their buttons, and I'm just like following her around the cage. But yeah, I mean, every fight you make mistakes, but every fight you also make improvements, and I think that fight was a big improvement from my first fight. So yeah.
Are you happy with that performance then, or are you more happy with just how the second round kind of played out in the end of the first?
I'm happy with the second round. The first round was kind of like whatever, but yeah, I mean, can't complain with the finish, right? You know, everyone goes in there expecting to win, and I won, and I can't complain about that. So I'm just a perfectionist. Sorry,
Yeah.
Perfectionist, and I like to finish fights fast and be. I was in the second round, maybe not so much in the first.
Is it still kind of surreal for you that like this year's happened, like 3 fights, 3 finishes, already ranked in the UFC, and you haven't even been in the promotion for a full year?
Yeah, it's a little bit surreal, to be honest. I mean, it's not even what I expected, right? So like when I first thought I was going to become a UFC fighter, you expect the crowd, the like everything like that, and I haven't been able to get any of that. So it kind of doesn't feel like the UFC yet, if you know what I mean. Like it's the promotion and it's the girls, and I get through the whole fight week experience, but you don't get that same experience.
Please fasten passenger seat belt.
Sorry, I know that this is annoying. You don't
No
get
problem.
the same experience that you would with a big crowd and a big pay-per-view card or anything, like they did in the past. So I'm still waiting for that moment, but I'm hoping it's coming soon.
Are you relatively healthy out of this fight, or are there some injuries you have to take care of?
I'm pretty healthy. I had a couple of injuries through fight camp, nothing from the fight, luckily, but yeah, just a couple of little niggling things, but nothing serious.
I know you mentioned March. Is that still kind of the plan, or after they ranked you, is it kind of you're going to be thrown to the deep end now?
Yeah, I'm down to fight in March against whoever they want to put me up against. So I like to think that they're not going to throw me completely in the deep end. I mean, I'm number 14, so I like to think that I still have a little ways to go. I don't want to be up the top too quick. I want to take my time still and get some more experience. So yeah, I hope that they take that into consideration.
I saw once Montana pulled out a Macy's fight. A lot of people were like adding you to step in. Did you ever think about maybe getting? I know that's a lot earlier than March, but did that ever cross your mind of maybe filling in for that fight?
Yeah, I thought about it, but I had to stick to my guns. I was really, really wanted to do it. The fighter in me and the ego that I have wanted to do it because I think that would be a great fight for me. But I have to take some time off now. Otherwise, I'll never take time off because that's just what I'm like. And yeah, sorry. I know I keep dropping everything and
That's
I'm
fine.
crazy, but
Do you really care who's next, or you just kind of hope whatever the UFC offers you?
I gave Mick some names that I liked, but I haven't said no to anybody that he's came with, and we still haven't got anybody that I've asked for. So I'm not assuming that he'll take anybody off my list. So yeah, whoever they want to put me up against next.
Are you hoping though when your next fight is on a pay-per-view so you can fight in front of fans finally?
I told Mick that my next fight must be in front of a pay-per-view because I begged him to be on the New York card, and I heard that I was going to be on it, and then I got given this fight instead. So I said my next fight must be a pay-per-view. I deserve it now. I think I've got 3 fights and 3 finishes. I'm now in the top 15. I feel like all I'm asking for is a crowd because I feel like I fight better in front of a crowd, and I really hope that I get given that crowd fight next.
What are your kind of thoughts on the flyweight division? Because it is shallow, but it is getting like a lot more young blood, like you, Macy, Miranda Mavericks there. Like it seems like kind of that new wave is already starting to make their way in.
Yeah, it's exciting times to be in the flyweight division. I feel like where we're at right now is where the strawweights were a couple of years ago, where we're just starting to sort of come into our own. When a division first opens, it's hard because girls are coming down from 35, girls are coming up from 25, and just sort of filling through. And it's like maybe the talent pool's not so high, but the longer the division is around, the better that everybody's going to become. And I think that everyone's training with the same goal in mind, kind of like the Ronda Rousey thing back in the day. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in the next couple of years for the flyweight division.
And you obviously have the dominant champion at the top. So, like, personally, like for you, like, are you hoping she never loses the belt until you get there? So, like, you can be the one to dethrone her then?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would love to take the belt off Valentina, but I would love to take the belt off anybody, to be honest. I think that no matter what, you're always, once you win the belt, you're looked at the same no matter who you beat for the belt, I think. So, yeah, I would love it to be Valentina, but she is getting a little bit older, and I'm not sure when she'll be on her way out. She does claim she wants to fight until she's 50, but I don't believe her. So we'll see how long she's around.
How did you spend the last week or so after the fight? Because I know your birthday was recently. Like, was it just a big celebration then for the win and then your birthday?
Yeah, I mean, a mixture of training and celebrating. I went and spent some time with some friends in Texas and got to visit a little bit more of the US, which has been fun. I love experiencing new places, so that was great. Now I'm back to training and just sort of trying to improve for the next thing. I'm not going to let myself ride the high for too long because that's where you get yourself in trouble. So back to the work.
Just a couple more things. Like, what's kind of the goal for you next year? Because this past year, like, you went, what, 4 or 5 fights, like, got into the UFC, got in the rankings. Like, where do you kind of see yourself, like, this time next year?
I just care about winning fights, so I would like another 3 fights and another 3 wins with 3 finishes, maybe another couple of bonuses and some extra money would be nice. But my goals stay the same. You know, I've got long-term goals and short-term goals. My short-term goals are usually just winning the next fight that's in front of me, and the long-term goal is winning every fight that's in front of me. So that's pretty much all I care about at the moment is winning the fights.
Just last thing, is that Ty in the car with you?
Yes, it is.
When's he getting back in there? Because his last fight, I can't believe you didn't get the win.
It was rough, I tell you that much. Fight game's unforgiving, that's for sure.
Yeah, like, is the Bellator still the plan for your next fight?
We haven't set on anything just yet, but I will be re-signing with them for the most part, and we'll see how things go from there.
All right, well, Casey and Ty, I appreciate the time. Thanks so much for doing this.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're joined by Bellator lightweight Brent Primus, who's got a big fight upcoming. Brent, how's it going, man?
Good, doing great.
Obviously, a massive fight upcoming against Benson Henderson. Like, I know after your last fight, you were calling for the rematch, but like, I assume this is way better than getting that rematch.
Yeah, man. I think Benson Henderson's obviously a bigger name. Everybody knows who he is, and he's way more exciting. He brings it. He has a fast pace. It's going to be a way more exciting fight than Islam. And I was wanting that rematch, but, you know, Islam's I feel like I would have had to bring the heat, bring the pace to keep that fight entertaining. He's kind of a boring fighter. So I'm definitely happy with Benson, man. This is a fight that I was actually really excited to sign the contract with for a long time. So yeah, it's going to be awesome.
And for a while, you've been calling to get a big fight, like really since Chandler happened, ever since the Chandler rematch. So like, how glad are you that you are getting a big name in Bellator?
Oh man, I'm so excited. Got to thank my manager, Jason House, of Freedom Sports Agency, and obviously Bellator. You know, I'm excited. It'll be a fun, fast fight. I've been working on my cardio like crazy, my wrestling takedown defense, and man, it's going to be a fight of the night for sure.
You're obviously going into his kind of territory out in Arizona. Is that something that, like, you care about that, or is that something that you're going to enjoy? Because probably the crowd's going to be behind him.
Honestly, if anything, I kind of enjoy it. You know, I kind of like people yelling at me, cussing at me, me. It kind of drives me a little bit more. And then not only that, like when I'm walking out in the cage and when I'm in the cage, I really kind of zone out and I really only listen to my coach's voices and you know, what I have to do. So I'm not really worried about fighting him in his hometown. I think it's gonna be kind of cool. And I always like traveling and fighting other places, and Arizona's cool. So yeah, man, it's gonna be fun.
What have you made of Benson's recent streak? 2-fight losing streak, but he got knocked out to Chandler, and then he went up to welterweight and lost to Jason Jackson, who is like really underrated.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take too much off of those losses, man. Like you said, he went up in weight at 170 and fought Jason Jackson, who's a beast, man. He is. He's long and hard to deal with, and throws unusual things, and he's a tough guy, you know. So I'm not going to take anything from that loss. And then obviously he got knocked out by Chandler. Chandler's a beast in his own way, so I'm not going to really underestimate him at all, man. In my eyes, he's the same Benson Henderson as he always has been, and I'm not going to underestimate him. And I know he's got solid hard kicks. He's got good cardio, decent wrestling, good jiu-jitsu, and I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited to go out there and throw down. I'm going to too.
Stylistically, like, how do you think you match up against him? Because on paper, it's an interesting fight.
Yeah, you know, I feel like on the feet, I feel like I'm gonna catch him. I don't think he has a chin like he used to have, and I think he slowed down a little bit, but I think I have him on the feet. I think I have him on the ground, our jiu-jitsu. You know, I think his wrestling might be a little bit better, but I've been working my wrestling like crazy. I've been taken down in the last 3 weeks in sparring, and man, I feel really great, you know, and I'm really just excited. I told Bellator and my manager, like, give me a good top opponent, and I promise I will go out there and I will throw down. I'll make it an exciting fight. I'm gonna try to knock him out, you know, and obviously he shoots in or whatever, you know, I'm definitely prepared to submit him, but I'm gonna go and let these hands go, man.
You're obviously very excited with the opponent, but excited for the quick turnaround because they could keep you kind of on the sidelines. You haven't been as active as you wanted to be.
Yes, finally. Thank you, Bellator. I've been like begging for a fight like right after my last fight, and it just has not happened. And man, I'm just excited to stay active. That's the biggest thing, you know. I just need to stay active. And after this fight, you know, I'm wanting to get another fight fairly soon. Maybe spend like a month with my kids or whatever. But after that, like I want to jump back into another camp. I want to try to fight 3 times a year at least. And yeah, thank you for Bellator for keeping me busy.
How much pressure are you kind of putting on yourself to go out there and kind of make a statement of this fight just because you are getting that big name you've been asking for a while?
Oh man, a lot. Like at the same time, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, but I am. You know, like I literally told my managers, like, man, if they get me a fight soon, a top opponent, I promise I will throw down. I will go out there and I will make an exciting fight. I will try to. When before I started MMA, like I was getting in street fights every single weekend, at least once or twice every weekend. I was getting a street fight, and I was, you know, like 16 years old, knocking out 20-year-olds at club parties and challenging 2-on-1, 3-on-1, and I was seeing people, knocking people out, just so aggressive. And I'm gonna bring a little of that in this next fight. Just my aggression, just you know, I'm not gonna go out there and street fight, but I'm gonna, you know, definitely street fight, but more controlled with jiu-jitsu for sure.
How do you kind of see yourself winning this fight? Because I think you have kind of a couple passive victories. Like if you could take it down to the ground, even on the feet, you could hurt him there.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna try to knock him out. I really am. I'm gonna throw fucking bombs, like 100%. I'm gonna try to knock him out, and I think if I catch him, I'm gonna knock him out. But I also think that he's gonna feel the pressure and the heat, and he's gonna shoot in on me. And I think it could definitely go to the ground and me submitting him. But if I'm blasting him, I see him rocked or whatever, and I see double leg, boom, I might take it. I don't know, but honestly, I really want the finish, and I know I got heavy hands. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna try to knock him out so hard, man. So it's gonna be a really fun and exciting fight for the fans.
He's obviously the third ranked fighter in lightweight. So like, where do you think a win puts you? Like it probably puts you in the top 5 or just kind of take his spot.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I'm not too worried about the rankings. I think they're kind of a bunch of bull crap anyways. I don't think Bellator doesn't do the rankings. It's just a bunch of media people and all that stuff that do it. But right now, Patricky is number 1 and Sid Outlaw is number 2. Both of those guys got knocked out by Chandler, and I think if I beat Benson, it's definitely going to put me up there, and hopefully I can, you know, squeeze my way into a title shot or get one of those guys for an interim title shot or something. I think the Bellator belt has been, you know, hasn't been in a lightweight's hands for too long.
Yeah, and then especially like AJ McKee keeps talking about how he just wants to get that immediate rematch with Pitbull, but for the lightweight belt. Like as a lightweight that's trying to climb up the ranks, like how frustrating is that? Because even Patricio, he won the belt over Chandler in what, like 2018, 19? He hasn't defended it once since then.
Yeah, that. I really hope Scott Coker and Bellator does not do that. You know, like he's not even a lightweight, and he might think about jumping up to lightweight, but I really think that Patricio should fight a lightweight or give it up and let somebody fight for it. You know, let me and Patricio fight. Let somebody fight for it. Some lightweights at least. Come on, man. They did an interim belt for what was it? The heavyweights or the 205? I can't remember which one it was, but they did an interim belt for them, and that belt wasn't, you know, gone out of the division as long as the lightweight one is. So, yeah, I think that if they do that rematch with Patricio and AJ, then that sucks for sure.
Are you planning to call anyone out, especially if you get a finish win? Like, I think you could really call your shot for a top guy.
I'm gonna, yeah, I haven't really thought about it too much, but I'm gonna call for a damn title shot or call for an interim title shot or fight, whoever's in front of me, which is Patricky and Outlaw.
Do you think this is probably it for you this year, or you think you might be able to squeeze one more in, or is it just kind of depending on what matchups come up?
Yeah, I think depending. I told myself if I go out there and smash him and knock him out or get a quick submission and no injuries, then I'm going to ask for a fight pretty quick. But if it's a war and have a couple of injuries, then I might take like I said, like a month off just to hang out with my kids. I've literally been training 3-4 times a day and not in town. I hardly ever see my kids, and that's the only downside about it. But I want to stay as active as possible. So like I said, man, if I can go out there and finish Benson like I know I can, then I'll definitely try to get in there soon.
And fighting back in front of fans again, just like your last fight, like how much better do you kind of enjoy that in front of fans?
No, yeah, there's nothing like fighting in front of live fans. There's nothing like it. Yeah, I actually didn't get a fight when there wasn't the fans because of the COVID, so I didn't. But I have had a bunch of my friends that did, and they said that it just sucked. The energy was not there, and they just said it sucked. So I'm blessed and happy and lucky that I get a fight in front of a bunch of screaming fans. Either they're booing me or cheering on. I just like to feel that energy.
Do you have any more plans to do any grappling competitions after this fight, or you kind of just focused on MMA?
Focus on MMA for sure, but if they can't give me a fight and I'm just kind of sitting and I'm training and I get the call to do a super fight or a grappling match, man, I'm always down. Jiu-jitsu is like my passion, and I'm always down to go grapple for some money too. So hell yeah.
Who are the main guys you're working with for this fight?
Oh man, I'm working with like just a bunch of pros that are coming up, really, but like training with John Simone, that's Ricky Simone's cousin, and he's a beast. I've been training with Ricky too. He's a little bit smaller than me, but I've been working with him with his wrestling and a bunch of guys in American Top Team. And Ed Herman's been helping me out a lot. And, Evan Dunham came in, was helping me for a little bit. He moved back into Oregon. And, but honestly, just like really just a bunch of upcoming savages that, you'll probably hear their name here in the next year or two. But I've been having hard training sessions, having guys coming on me every minute, wrestling, trying to take me down. I feel good. My wrestling takedown defense feels good. And, I'm 3 weeks out from tomorrow and 2 more weeks of hard preparation. And I feel good, man. My cardio feels good. I've been like focusing on my cardio. I'm going to try to bring in the heat to Benson and outpace them and just throw leather for sure.
You guys got a kind of a solid group out there, especially a lot of veteran kind of leadership with Ed Herman. Like, how important has that been? Because he's kind of seen it all in the sport. Oh,
hell yeah, man. I go to like 2 or 3 of his classes a week, and he's just, he's been there. He's seen it all. He's just seen it all, man. He knows so many little things, little details, little dirty tricks, little dirty boxing and clinch moves. And Ed's the man, dude. I love working with him, and he's a cool guy. And every class, I always learn some little tricks or some little cool detail that makes a world of difference. It's always the small little details and little techniques that make the world of difference. And I've been learning a lot of those from Ed, man, his experience for sure.
Just a couple more things. Benson's a guy that's bounced around welterweight at the tail end of his UFC career, but you're a bigger lightweight. Do you think the size, like, it won't play much of a factor?
I think it will a little bit, just in like the clinch and against the cage and and things like that. You know, I used to think that Vincent was big on TV. TV makes everybody look big, and I remember like, I saw him at one of the Bellator like photo shoots or something. I can't remember what it was, and I like saw him. I was like, damn, man, he's small as hell. Like I was like looking down on him, and I was like, damn, I thought he was way bigger than what he was. You know, I mean, he's definitely got like big muscular legs. He's muscular, but just kind of on a smaller skeleton frame. And so I'm bigger than him. I know that. So I'll use it in you know, when we're tied up and we're clinched together against the cage. If I get on top of him, I'm definitely he's gonna feel the extra, you know, weight or whatever. But I also know that he's fast and athletic and good scrambles and everything like that. So my last fight and this fight, I'm gonna try to stay kind of light, like 175. I'm not going to try to gain any more than that. I used to gain, I'd weigh in and then I'd walk in the cage like 181, 180. And so I'm going to try to stay like 175, stay a little bit lighter, a little bit faster. And so I can catch him in these scrambles and everything.
All right. Well, Brent, I appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much for doing this.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. We're joined by a champion one championship, Bibiano Fernandes, who's finally back in action. Bibiano, how's it going, man?
I'm good, thank you very much. Always is good to speak with the BJ Play or BJ.com.
Yeah.
And simply always is good. I'm in Brazil right now and training. I'm back in 1 week and a half back to Canada. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm up in Canada too. You're going up out to BC again, isn't that where you go?
Yeah, it's in my hometown. Like I live in Brazil. It's my Brazil and Vancouver is my hometown. I love to be there. My family's there. My kids there. It's beautiful there.
I just want to first touch on, like, it's been a while since you fought. Like, what kind of was the main reason why you didn't fight all of last year?
The main reason is coronavirus. You know, I mean that's the main reason, and I have to deal with something with one championship. And after that was coronavirus. Later I have to deal with one championship. But now you're good. You know what I mean? Charges good. One champ is good. Now if this good, now back fight again. You know what I mean?
Was this a lot longer of a layoff? Like, I assume because one's been putting on events for a while. Like, after you guys kind of got things settled with one, like, was December kind of the time frame you were looking at?
Sorry, second. I'm sorry.
After you got stuff settled with one, like, was this the time frame you were looking at, or are you hoping to return sooner this year?
No, that's fine. Everything has a reason. You know what I mean? I don't fight for it at the time. The time was not there. I have to go through a lot of things too. You know what I mean? And to figure out something, I was not see my father, my family for Brazil for 2 years. And sometimes you have to have some priority in life. You know what I mean? In that time is the time for me to go back there. Everything has for a reason again. You know what I mean? Now I'm ready to back and I'm ready to fight too. And same myself, the time was not there, coronavirus, everybody go crazy a little bit. But now everything come down. I don't know, by here everything come down, and I'm ready to go back there and do what I have to do. And do my job is to fight.
Did you know you'd be defending your belt against John Lineker when you were returning?
Do you know why? Like 4 weeks ago, I see for Chachi, like no, a couple weeks ago in the back there, like I say, Chachi, give me John Lineker 3 weeks for now. And I talk with these guys there, you know what I mean? And what happened out there? And they come back and say, okay, John Lineker cannot make the weight in 3 weeks for now. He's little heavy right now. Give a couple weeks and you go fight. You'll fight John Lineker. But I say, wow, he fight me anytime, any moment. How you know ready for fight in 3 weeks for now? I'm ready. I'm here to go. And they say, oh, he cannot make the weight. He have to wait. You guys fight maybe in December. That's the reason I'm here waiting for John Lineker fight in December. I'm ready to go. I think John Lineker is a good fight. You know what I mean? Like people say he can knock me out. I won't see that happen. You know what I mean? But I will focus to knock him out to finish that guy. That's the way I fight.
What have you made of Lineker's run so far in one?
Sorry?
What have you made of John Lineker's run so far in one championship?
I think he's pretty good, you know what I mean? Like, he's a good fighter, you know what I mean? Same I always say, he's very good fighter, very good fighter. But he's no champion yet. Like, what does that mean, champion? Champion, he don't defend the belt. You don't have a belt, you know what I mean? That means he's good fighter. He have a hand. But if you go look historical about how he champion, he's a good fighter. You have to be careful to hear, but he's pretty good. You know what I mean? He's good.
How do you kind of see the fight playing out in December?
You know, the fight can go many ways. It can go stand up, can go the ground, can go many way, it can go. But I'm ready in any direction. Again, I win a fight. I fight to finish. You know what I mean? I fight to finish. I fight to finish. I fight for knockout. I fight to win. That's the way I fight. I fight to win. Doesn't matter how it go. I look for the winner. That's the way I fight. I don't think about your decision. I want to only go there, do my job, is a win.
Do you and John, like, is it kind of like you guys don't really like each other just because of some of the stuff he said, or do you not really care what he says about you?
I don't give a shit for that guy, you know what I mean? I don't care about the hit because I understand that he try to promote the fight, you know what I mean? I understand that. You say whatever I say, you know what I mean? Whatever you want to say, because he say, oh, I want to fight you. Okay, I have to give the chance for you to fight me. No, I don't need to fight you. I give the chance for you to fight me. Like, if I go look at what he did in the sport, yeah, he good fight, but he know did a lot of things. He fight, he's tough guy, but I don't see like, oh my God, this guy true champion. Oh my God, he win the one championship belt or a Brazil belt or whatever. You know what I mean? He talk a lot of shit, but that's okay. That's the way it is. I accept that. I'm happy. You know what I mean? But again, I don't give a shit. I go there, do my job. I have to do it.
John's someone too that hasn't gone 5 rounds in like 5-6 years. So how much of a benefit is that to you, or you know what going hard rounds is like?
Because when you fight, your body have this heavy energy. Your body feel intense, but later you have to pace yourself. You have to understand the non-stop move. You have to keep moving 25 a minute. You know what I mean? Understand I have to break it down there. And it's not about only push yourself, but understand the time inside the cage. Because in the cage, inside the cage, you need to understand the time. If you give everything 100%, you will burn yourself. But if you can pace yourself with not too much strength or too much power, but understand the movement, the lightment, and you can push yourself further. You can move for. You can understand the powerful punch. You understand that okay, how to solve this punch, and you maintain that push and push and push, and now you can push yourself for 25 minutes. So again, I fight many times in 25 minutes. I train 25. Right now, I train 45 minutes, and I love training. You know what I mean? When I push my mind there, I give 100% I have. I understand the time in the cage. I understand the time outside the cage.
How much pressure are you putting on yourself to go out there and finish them and put on like a kind of a statement just because you haven't fought in so long?
Pressure. I don't have a pressure, my friend. I enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I enjoy what I do, I have the pressure. I'm here, have fun. I'm fun. That's the way I live in my life. That's the way I take care of my family. You know what I mean? That's the way I move forward. That's the way I can help so many people. I don't have a pressure. You know what I mean? I love pressure. I enjoy pressure. You know what I mean? Pressure is not my vocabulary. I enjoy what I do.
How exciting is it that you don't have to fight Kevin again, that you're on to a new opponent?
Oh my God. That is good. Like, oh, fighting Kevin one more time, that is awesome. You know what I mean? Because I trained so hard for that guy, many, many, many. Again, everything I say, if I fight Kevin, next time I fight Kevin, you will adjust for something. Now, if I lose for Kevin, next time I fight Kevin, I will adjust for something. I'll go back for, you know what I mean? Now, a fresh guy, I know he do it. He don't know what I do. He know the way I fight, but he don't know the pressure I give inside the cage. He don't have no idea what I do, you know what I mean? But later, if I fight here again in the future, it's changed because you have to involve. I have to involve, you know what I mean? For this fight, we did not fight together this time. For me, is amazing. You know what I mean?
You don't really see a lot of 40-year-olds have success at the lower weight classes. You're kind of one of that rare exception. Like, what has been keeping you at the top, especially going this late in your career?
You know what? I don't know. I don't say I'm 41 right now. I'll wait for after the fight. But one guy inspired me. His name is Randy Couture. That's one guy inspired me. Dan Hans is another guy inspired me. And these people really inspire me, and I can understand the way he's going. You know what I mean? Emiliano Fedor. These people still fight. You know what I mean? My generation again. I'm in the last one for my generation, champion. Like Emiliano Fedor, Anderson Silva. Everybody's where you don't fight anymore, but I'm still here. I'm still champion, and I hope. I mean, my old school still keep it going. You know what I mean? That's I hope it will keep it going. But I'm ready. The secret is for Bibiano. I try don't meat. You know what I mean? I don't smoke. I try to be more clean. I try to make my mind clean and make my body strong. And I will call it. You know what I mean? I don't like the night. I like sleep. I like rest my mind, rest my body. Because next day is the day I feel more energy for my body. I think that's the secret for me. You know what I mean? I stay away for shitty for people. You know what I mean? Like some people have a lot of negative. People complain about life. I stay away. Like I still to my guys training right now. I was training. You know what I mean? Like I was in the mat training. And that's I do it. I love what I do. I don't have no pressure. I really like what I do, and I accept the pressure very well too.
And being part of this card, like, what's that like for you? Because it seems like just the few fights that have been announced, like, there seems like they're gonna stack this card.
You know, this guy's pretty good. The Demetrious Johnson's fight, you know what I mean? I fight, and so many good fighters out there. And it's gonna be good for the Asia fans, you know what I mean? For the Asia fans, this show gonna be so good. The One Championship always put good show. In the One Championship, give a very nice show for everybody there. And please, guys, don't miss. I think it'll be a very good fight. If you really like watch fight, always I give the best fight I can have. You know what I mean? I fight with my mind. I fight with my soul. You know what I mean? I fight with my intelligence. I will do my best for my fans that show.
Just last thing, what do you make of your close friend Demetrious Johnson's fight? It's kind of a weird one. It's not a weird one. It's like a really interesting one how they're doing his fight.
You know, only honestly, when I talk up people ask about Demetrious Johnson, I said, you know, I think it's easy fight for GJ. You know what I mean? People say, why this guy cannot keep GJ in one punch? That's it. Yeah, GJ do this for how many years do MMA? Forever. This guy don't know MMA. He's white belt. You know what I mean? GJ do jiu-jitsu. GJ do wrestling. GJ do whatever, Muay Thai, box. You have to only move in 3 minutes, finish up, then later go engage the guy. You know what I mean? And the GJ can move it very well. I don't see no problem for GJ. Really, I don't see no problem. I say easy fight. I say easy fight, but fight is fight. You never know what can happen. The guy can hit one punch. Maybe something can happen there. But my honest opinion, I think GJ have big chance for in the fight. I don't go say easily, but I will give you 8% for GJ.
All right, well, Bibiano, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much for doing this.
Where you are now?
Pardon?
Where you live now? Where you are?
Just outside of Toronto in Canada.
Toronto. Oh,
Yeah.
my friends from Canada. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me. I'll see back there, guys. Thank you so much. And again, I always give you my best. Keep it move forward. Let's keep it move. And I'll be there. I will have to do it.